Folks, we're going to have fun in this video. I'm going to talk about volatility control indexes and breaking news, by the way, to start this out. The reason that insurance carriers back in 2015, 2016, 2017, and even today introduced volatility control indexes into their IUL as well as indexed annuities, it was not because, well, we wanted to offer a more predictable or a more smooth return to our clients. You know, I cringe every time I hear that. Well, we and a bunch of actuaries, us executives and the actuaries, sat in a room and we said, you know, our clients are really looking for a nice, smooth return scenario within their IUL and index annuities. So what we did is we created this volatility control strategy within our index annuities and IUL. That is not why carriers introduced volatility control indexes into their IUL and index annuities. Why did they do that? Because I'll get to that in a point here. By the way, folks, if you like this type of content, make sure you go to my website there at the bottom of almost every page out there for financial professionals. You can sign up for weekly emails, actually semi-weekly emails that have a ton of videos in those emails that look something like this. Okay, does Charlie actually like volatility control indexes? I'm going to answer that at the end of this call, but to preface that conversation, let's talk about me betting against you. Let's say this is the scenario. You have some money and you're going to invest it in one of two different markets. And I tell you, hey, when you invest your money, I will bet you $10,000 that you won't be able to make any more than, say, a 10% return. That's the bet here. So I am betting against you doing good with your investment. But here's the caveat. In this bet, I get to choose which market it is that you invest in. I get to choose which of the two markets it is that you invest in. Option number one is this market right here. The peaks are high, the valleys are low. That's a very volatile market, right? That's our playing field number one. Playing field number two is this one. The peaks are very low and the valleys are low. You know, it would be good because you're not losing much money there in the down scenarios, but that's not what our bet is. It's not about the down scenarios. I am betting you that you will not get a good amount of return on your money. So which one is it? Because it's my decision, right? In this example, in this scenario, it's my decision which market it is that you invest in. Which market is it that I'm going to choose? You can bet I'm going to choose this one because the chance of you knocking it out of the park versus this one is very slim. The chances with you knocking the ball out of the park with this low volatility strategy is very slim. Folks, what I just explained is this. I am the call option maker. And I bet against the consumers and the carrier. The consumers and the carrier actually doing good with their investment, right? So forget annuities right now, forget life insurance right now. We're just talking the way call option prices are. So I, the call option maker, because this bet is kind of a no-brainer, I, the call option maker, am going to charge you, the carrier, a very low premium because this is a low risk to me, right? On these call options that you would buy off of me. What I just explained there is the difference between a volatility control index and an index like the S&P 500. A volatility control index oftentimes has volatility targets, standard deviation, it's a measure of volatility, of 5%, 6%, 7%. Conversely, the S&P 500 over time, like 3 times the volatility, somewhere between 16 and 18% standard deviation, right? So this is a very low risk bet for me right here. All else being equal, I repeat that, all else being equal. So when I hear, actually, let me step back for a second. So now we put these indexes, each of these indexes within an indexed annuity. We're not talking about caps yet, not talking about participation rates. Which index is it that you, let's say 100% participation rate on both of them actually, which index is it that you're going to choose? Well, because remember with index annuities and IUL, you don't have any of this downside, right? You don't have any of this downside. So which index is it that you're more than likely going to choose that you want your money to be based off of? We're talking all else being equal, no fees, no charges, 100% participation rate, which doesn't exist. Which one would you prefer? You want that one every day of the week. So this is why it's disingenuous. Well, We wanted to introduce these volatility control indexes because just a smoother experience here. No, give me as choppy of an upside as possible as long as I have zero as the downside right there, right? So then why did carriers introduce these volatility control indexes? And rightfully so. They did that because all else is not equal. So I'm going to do a 180 here because all else is not equal here, right? Which one would you prefer? Would you prefer this index within your index annuity if it had a, say, 50% participation rate, which means that those peaks are basically chopped in half? Which one is better, that one or this one, the volatility control index, which has a participation rate of 150%? Which would bring, in my simplified example, the return up there. Which one is better? Which one's going to perform the best over time? The answer to that question is nobody knows. So do I like volatility control indexes? Absolutely I do. Are there some that I don't like? Absolutely there are some that I don't like. All else is not equal. The reason, folks, that carriers introduced these into index products, 2015, 2016, 2017, caps on indexed annuities because interest rates were low. Plus, there were a couple of volatile periods throughout that time. Caps were like 4%, 5% or so on indexed annuities. Yeah, please give me something, although that's not a very volatile index, that has more juice than just 4% or 5% to the upside, right? That is why carriers launched this stuff, because it was kind of hard to sell caps at 4% or 5%. Consumers wanted different options. Agents wanted different options that have more upside than just that. That is the main reason the carriers started to introduce these into index annuities, index UL. And thank God they did, because there are a lot of great options out there today. And all else is not equal, or not everything is equal. So you have to know your index strategies. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope this video makes sense.